Of course, some of the postings online can get some individuals in trouble, especially when they don't think before they post. And some of those people include teenagers. So teenagers are on social media. There's no way you can stop it. It's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's Instagram. But what if all of a sudden there's legislation or even a law that would allow teenagers to delete all of their postings regardless of which company or which social media site they posted on? Well, that's currently happening in California. Governor Jerry Brown did sign a law that would basically allow teens to get an online eraser button. So it doesn't matter which forum they post on, they would be able to talk to the administrators on that forum or that site and have them walk the teenagers through the process of deleting those posts so they will cease to exist.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what are we missing that this is not a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty fantastic. However, I think we have to say here, this is probably an unrealistic thing. I mean, a series of things can be done to keep these posts out there forever. Someone could just take a screenshot of your tweet, and then there you go, it's there forever. So the idea that it could really disappear or that the NSA's got it or whatever, I don't know that this stuff can really disappear, but I would like to see this extended to anyone under 45 would be fine with me. If we all, I mean, really, we get all this technology, we put all this stuff out there, and then we read the terms of service later or we find out what's really going on. And I think we all deserve an opportunity to clean out the mess.
There are definitely some texts or some tweets I would like to have, I would take back. I now
Really?
apply if I have a moment's hesitation of should I send this.
You don't.
Right, don't send it.
I actually deleted.
Hilarious though it may be.
Yeah, we'll get back to the specifics of this in a second. But the other day, I deleted a tweet for I think only the third or fourth time ever because during the pre-show at the Emmys on the E-Red carpet, Juliana Rancic, I think is her name, was talking, and she's incredibly thin and has huge boobs. And I made a joke about something about her huge boobs and are they being held up on a stick or something. But I didn't realize. That she had a double mastectomy, and then I got but I didn't know.
I know.
And then I got a flurry of tweets saying, yelling at me basically, and then I obviously apologized and said I didn't know that, and I deleted the tweet. But those are the types. Sometimes you say things unintentionally that are going to offend people. So.
Yeah.
And now I just repeated it, and it'll be on YouTube.
Wow. Yeah, I totally get it. But at the same time, I'm worried that this type of law would give people a false sense of security because then all of a sudden you can, teenagers will think, well, yeah, I can post something and then I can easily delete it and it'll disappear forever. But as you mentioned, it's not necessarily the case. People can do a screenshot or people can find ways to save that information. It kind of reminds me of Snapchat a little bit because Snapchat gave people this false sense of security. They want to send out the risque texts and pictures, and they think that with Snapchat it will just disappear after a few seconds. But people just have to whoosh, do a quick screenshot, and then they can save that naked picture forever.
Yeah.
So that false sense of security can be very dangerous.
I never have received a naked picture.
Never?
What?
I find that hard to believe for some
Never
reason.
received a naked picture. I'm just saying. Thank you. Johnny Pie is going to send me a naked picture. Fantastic. That is great. That is grand news.
Yeah, so I do want to read a quote from Jim Steyer. He's the CEO of Common Sense Media, and he says, kids and teens frequently self-reveal before they self-reflect. In today's digital age, mistakes can stay with and haunt kids for their entire lives. This bill is a big step forward for privacy rights, especially since California has more tech companies than any other state.
It's a good idea. I mean, I don't see teens saying, I'm going to send this because I know I can call the system administrator and work through 8 steps to get it deleted. I think that teens who are incredibly drunk one night or incredibly stupid or feeling incredibly mean towards somebody else can, on reflection a day or two later, think, that was terrible, and I'm gonna take those back and not have them because they're keeping kids out of college is what we're learning.
Yes,
here,
let me give you that statistic because it's kind of incredible. So college admissions officers did admit that they do check social media when they're reading through applications. In fact, 24% checked out applicants' social networking sites, and a portion of those admissions officers did say that if they came across something that looked a little suspicious or questionable, for instance, the teenagers drinking or doing anything that seems, salacious or whatever, they won't even consider them into the university. So that's problematic. And I try to tell students in my class about that all the time. I always give them a quick warning, and I feel like a grandma when I do it, right? But I just, for my own experimental purposes, quickly did a Facebook search on random people in my class, and stuff comes up. And you're just like, God, it's amazing. You don't have to know this person. You just look them up on Facebook, and all of a sudden, you know all of these intimate details about them.
Yeah. I gotta get Facebook. Maybe if I get Facebook, I'll get some.
You're not on the Facebook?
No.
Do you guys think that maybe this is just us being of a certain age, where the people that are, the kids that are 15 now, that are putting this stuff out there constantly and openly, maybe they're going to usher in a time when everything will be open? I mean, look, already we've had a guy that just ran for mayor that had his dick pics out there. Mm-hmm. We've had a president who's admitted smoking pot, and pretty much, and two, I think, that have done cocaine even. So, like, we're starting to get this stuff out. It might be cathartic for all of us that we're going to have a generation of kids come up and their thoughts are going to be out there, and the drinking they did and the drugs, and then everyone will just get over it because it's just part of life.
I think with all the privacy violations, that stuff is almost inevitable, right? All of our dirty laundry will be aired, and you have no choice but to be kind of desensitized to it, because you realize that everyone's a freak. Yeah. Like, everyone has something that they're a little embarrassed by.
Freak? He's not even on Facebook, this freak.
I think Ben's the biggest freak of them all. I think he's lying.
That's
That's
sucker.
Sweet. Yeah, look, at some point, admission officers are going to be people who had Facebook pages like this. So while we're like in the worst time, I went to college in the late 80s, which was the worst, 85 to 89, the worst time in American history to go to college. Because if you had sex with someone, you were told, you'll just die.
Oh.
Right? I mean, it was like you can do it, but you'll die. So, like, no one would have sex. Mm-hmm. But, but eventually we will get to a point where, so now it's bad for these kids too, because you're dealing with admission officers who are put off by this stuff. But 20 years from now, I think Dave's right. I think there will be a sea change in how we deal with this sort of thing.
And isn't it ironic that an admission officer would say to a kid, no, you're not coming to this college because of drinking and drugs? Because isn't that the point of college?
Totally.
And if not the point, it at least helps the local economy.
That's right.
Where the college is, no?
Yeah, no, it seems ridiculous, but and of course you're making these decisions based on like these snippet. A picture is worth 1,000 words. It's the worst cliche in American history. A picture is a giant lie. It is a one frame snapshot of time. It tells you nothing. He's smiling. They look so happy. My brother works for Dateline, so every time you watch one of my brother's Dateline pieces, you realize, well, they look happy in that picture, but he killed her, right? So so it's really but you're right to point out to the kids who you teach that that they should be careful.